teach people how to use meditative techniques to create changes to these bits that cause us internal suffering. The same mechanism applies for chronic pain, chronic health issues, it's exactly the same mechanism for any sort of chronic suffering. I would see that there would be the same patients would keep on coming back to me for different injuries. They'd come to see me for an ankle, it would kind of get better, then they would disappear, then they'd come back with low back pain, it would kind of get better and it wouldn't. They'd come in with a shoulder, and it just kept on going. And I would work with all these world-renowned experts, like literally world-renowned experts, and everyone would have an opinion on it, but it was all different opinions, and everyone would have a different point of view, and they would kind of get an answer that would help these people, but it wouldn't really resolve the situation. And I ended up working with a lot of people with chronic health conditions that had been through the medical system from all these different angles. They'd seen all these specialists, all these experts, and no one could really get down to the root of what was going on. So during my time, particularly at the university, I really studied and I really went deep into meditation especially. And what I started to recognise was that there were some common factors amongst these people who had chronic suffering. What I recognised was that there was an element within their nervous system that was contributing to the situation. And that's the piece that's always overlooked. So in the 16th century, there was a guy called René Descartes. You've probably heard of him. He was a philosopher type character. He had this idea of Cartesian dualism. And Cartesian dualism was to separate out the components of the body. The shoulder's over here and the neck is over here. The cardiovascular system is separate from the endocrine system, which is separate from the digestive system and separate from the musculoskeletal system. He broke them down into component parts. And then because of that, the medical system went into those areas. There were specialities. And those specialities meant that you just covered this one thing in isolation. The piece of the puzzle that we forgot about was that they all interrelate with each other. And this is the thing that the nervous system really primarily runs. I got to a point in my meditation where I had a few breakthroughs that were really, really helpful for me. And so I started from that point on to integrate these things into my treatments with my patients, and I found that there were huge changes with people. So then that started to progress. I started to do that more and more and more until now that's what I specialise in.